Okay guys, welcome back. Today we're going to talk about my plans to torture test the Nexus coma corrector. The Nexus coma corrector is a fabulous bit of gear and it does a really good job with my big 24-inch f3.3 Dobsonian. It's also a reducer, so when I'm imaging with it, it brings it down to f2.5. Now, to the corners of the APS-C size Poseidon camera that I use, it's excellent. And I'll put up on the screen here the, one of the first subs I took with the Trifid Nebula last year, and just show you the corners. I've already done the aberration inspector on there, and you can have a look and see that out to the corners of the APS-C size sensor, it's excellent. And if you are looking to buy the Nexus coma corrector for your Newtonian while using an APS-C size sensor, just stop the video now and go and buy it, because it really is that good. Now, this video is going to be the first video in probably 4 or 5 parts where I am going to torture test the Nexus coma corrector. And how I plan to do that is, the Nexus was never designed to use a full frame imaging camera. This is basically going to go to within 2 millimeters of each of the walls of the coma corrector, and we're really looking at the vignetting. I've taken a couple of flats already with it, and it looks quite good. Now, my biggest plan with this is to just use a full frame camera and possibly crop into a section that is very usable. Now, it's starting to look more and more like I will be able to just use the full frame camera, stack it, and do my flats and everything like that, and maybe crop in post, because I am led to believe that the stars in the corners aren't going to be too bad. So at Starizona, the Nexus coma corrector is sold with the premise that it's an APS-C size sensor coma corrector, and it runs out to about 28 millimeters, which is the essentially corner to corner of an APS-C size camera, crop sensor camera. Now, with a full frame camera, even if I was only to box up 28 millimeters by 24 millimeters, because a full frame sensor is 36 by 24, I would still have more than 1.7 times the area of an APS-C size sensor. So it's really a win-win for me at this stage. And if I could move out to, let's say, 30 millimeters by 24 millimeters, which seems like it will be no problem whatsoever, then I move up above 2 times the area of my images with the full frame sensor. And I only pay a small price as far as field rotation and sub lengths I can shoot. So I'm starting to think that this is just a no-brainer. Thank you very much for Touptek for sending out the Skyeye24ac. As I said before the other day, this more than likely is the perfect case scenario for me and my telescopes, with nice big pixels of 5.94 microns per pixel, which works out to be about 0.8 of an arc second per pixel. Perfect. Full frame sensor, the highest the highest full well of consumer grade cameras at 104,000 KE. Now, there will be vignetting in the corners and edges of the full frame sensor, which will degrade signal to noise ratio, but I feel like that's not really going to be a problem, because you will be amazed at the size of the objects I will fit in a full frame sensor at 1500 millimeters. It really is quite good, especially for my 24-inch Dobsonian. So I'm looking forward to that. I'll put something on the screen to show you, let's say, the Lagoon Nebula or the Trifid Nebula, and see the size of the area that we're talking about. So the vignetting in the corners or just cropping a little bit is not really going to be a problem. I've got a lot of targets that I can really attack, and this is going to do it no problem whatsoever. The main thing that we are looking for at this stage is going to be what the stars look like in the outer corners. And again, remember, Starizona isn't selling it to me for a full frame camera. it's sold on the basis of an APS-C size. So the Nexus is very, very good at what it does. And regardless of what happens here, I'm still keeping it to use with the APS-C size camera I currently have. It's an excellent item. I have no affiliation with Starizona at all, but I highly recommend it for people who want a coma corrector for their imaging Newtonians. It really is that good. There are other videos out there on it. I'm sure you can find them and go and have a look. I don't think I've ever seen a disparaging word said about them. So that is the basic plan, me to take this out and just really see what we can do with it. Like I said, I don't believe there's any downsides for me at this stage, and it is a very, very good opportunity for me to test out the Touptek camera, test out the Starizona Nexus to its limits, and who knows, maybe some other people will try to use a full frame camera on it and crop away. When you understand that you're going to double your imaging area with just some small steps outside of the APS-C size sensor, it really does make sense to buy this product and use it with a full frame camera. Again, I was going to borrow a camera from a mate, but Touptek has sent me this to play with for a few months. I'm going to take as many images as I can with it, and I really look forward to seeing what it can do. And like I said before, it's probably the perfect camera for my setup. Okay guys, that's about it for this video. I just wanted to share with you my plans for using this full frame sensor, really torture testing the Nexus coma corrector from Starizona using my 24-inch Hubble Optics Dob, which is f3.3 and f2.5 corrected. It really doesn't get much more difficult for the Starizona Nexus. And again, the Touptek is almost the perfect camera for my scope, my focal length, and the set of attributes that it has. I really look forward to using it, and I can't wait to get it out under dark skies. All right, guys, I'll speak to you soon. Thank you, and bye for now.